let's avoid kufr. Another aspect of kufr is following old traditions unjustifiably. One of the areas the Quran is criticizing and condemning the Kafirs is that they used to insist on following their old traditions without any justification. So the Quran mentions at least in two verses, in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 170, and in Surah Luqman, verse 21, that إِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمُ اتَّبِعُوا مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ, when it is said to them that follow what God has revealed, they say, بَلْ نَتَّبِعُوا مَا أَلْفَيْنَا عَلَيْهِ آبَانَا, no, we will follow what we have seen our forefathers, our elders doing. So that is what the stance of the Kafirs used to be. They rejected whatever they thought was against their traditions. This is what God is criticizing. Why are they following those traditions when they are being informed that those traditions are wrong? God doesn't want them to follow what their elders were doing. If obviously we do the same thing, we start following ways which we see our parents, elders doing, but they're wrong. But there's something bad about them. And somebody comes to tell us that, look here, what you are doing is immoral. What you are doing is against religion. What you are doing is not acceptable to God. So the attitude of kufr is that one says that, get lost. We are not interested in what you're saying. Why? Because we are absolutely satisfied with what our elders used to do. We don't want to listen to what you're doing. So that is also what kufr is. And the Almighty rejected it and said that this is something which is not going to be acceptable because God wants all humans to follow the truth. So the Quran tells us in Surah Luqman also the fact that although on the one hand God wants us to be good to our parents, to be of service to them, to help them out, more particularly when they grow old. On the other hand, He wants us not to follow them if they are asking us to do what is wrong. So the Quran says, وَإِن جَاهَدَاكَ عَلَىٰ أَن تُشْرِكَ بِمَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٌ فَلَا تُطِعْهُمَا. If they fight with you, if they force you so that you should do shirk with me, ascribe somebody else as my partner for which there is no evidence whatsoever, فَلَا تُطِعْهُمَا, don't follow them. وَصَاحِبْهُمَا فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا, but treat them in this worldly life in a good way. So God is telling us that even if it's a matter of following parents, and compared to that, there is something which is true, which is correct, we will not follow our parents. We will follow what is true. It is the kuffar who used to do it, that they would say that, we are not interested in what is true, what is correct. In other words, when we are trying to avoid kufr, we have to avoid what kufr means, what kufr entails, what the kafirs used to do. And one of the things that they would do is to insist that the traditions of their forefathers is what they are interested in. And the reason why they would say it was that they had their vested interests in what their forefathers used to do. They were emotionally attached to what their forefathers used to do. And these vested interests and the emotional attachment did not allow them to see the evil in it. So that is what causes societies to become immoral. There are immoral things, evil things that are happening in society in the name of traditions, in the name of the practices of the elders. And people don't want to leave them and adopt what is correct. So the message again is that if we are true believers, we must make sure that we are following what is correct and not what is our tradition, even if it is clear to us that the traditions are wrong.